Hello, I'm Sheila and welcome to this Vinyasa Flow practice. We're going to be moving through Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. It's quite an exploration of all sorts of various moves. So roll out your mat and I will see you in a moment. Namaste. So we're going to start on our back, just as a little pre-warm-up before we do the warm-up of Surya Namaskar. So come onto your back and we'll take the legs out straight along the mat. Just checking in how your body feels on the earth, arms out to the side. Maybe moving your head a little side to side. Noticing how your shoulders feel. Any little movement that you need to make sure that they feel comfortable on the earth. And then a little movement of your hips. And then a little movement of your knees and your ankles. Maybe turn your toes in towards one another and then out to the side. And then taking a nice deep breath into your belly, into your lungs. Exhaling, nice long smooth breath out. Inhaling, nice deep breath in. And exhaling, nice long smooth breath out. Lovely. One more like that. Inhaling. And exhaling. Lovely. On your next inhale, let's draw the legs together, lifting our arms up over our heads, interlinking our fingers, pressing out through the palms, out through the heels, really lengthening through the body. And then drawing your right knee into your chest, giving your right knee a nice hug. Lovely. And we're going to press out through the heels, enlivening the toes, the soles of the feet. Enlivening the legs. And then as we inhale, we're going to draw the left knee in beside the right. And as we exhale, we're going to reach that right leg straight along the mat. And again, encouraging the knee in towards the body, but flexing the feet. Lovely. Inhaling, let's draw the right knee in beside the left. And take the knees nice and wide, press down on the inside of the knees. And then a little movement for your feet around in circles, creating that movement around your ankles. Feeling the length of your spine on the earth. Maybe sliding into happy baby pose. Hands to the outside of the feet. Of course, if that's just too much at this stage of practice, then keep with the first option. And then release. Let's bring the knees back together and take the soles of the feet to the earth so that the knees are pointing up, and we can just touch the backs of the heels with our fingertips. And as we inhale, we're going to peel the spine off the floor, the hips off the floor, coming up into a gentle bridge pose. Just one where we can move the hips from side to side, create a nice interesting feeling through the side body. Maybe moving your head. And if you can, it's really important throughout your practice, if you can, to practice with your eyes closed. That way we drop a lot deeper into how this movement feels for our body. We don't get distracted away. And then releasing, coming back to the center. Slowly lowering your spine and your hips to the earth. Broaden your shoulders out from underneath you. And we're going to bring the right knee in. Reach that left leg straight along the mat. And come into a twist where we draw this knee now over to the left. Left hand guides the knee. Right arm reaches away, turning to look over your right arm. And again, having your eyes closed draws you back into how this feels for your spine, your hips, your shoulder, your breath. And then as you inhale, slowly making your way back up. And let's take both feet to the floor, straighten everything up. Straightening the right leg out along the mat, bring the left knee in. And create your twist now the other side. So right hand guides the knee towards the earth. Left arm reaches away. Just noticing, we don't need to go in too deep here. Just the sweetness of this twist. The offering. Allow it to be peaceful. Allow it to be loving. And then as we inhale, let's come back up to the center. Place both feet on the floor just so you can straighten everything up again. And we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest. Just so we can get a little rock and roll here. Hands behind our knees. And as we inhale, we're going to rock up. And as we exhale, we rock back. So it might be a small little move. It might be that you don't have your hands behind your knees. You might find it interesting that there's various tipping points. We don't need to be too in much of a hurry here. Maybe your toes down, they don't. Just make this right for your shoulders and your neck. A little pull in towards the belly. And the slower we go, the more we get to really notice where the action is, where is the ease. Maybe coming into a half boat pose with the lower half of the legs parallel to the earth. Lovely. Your choice. You could keep moving, or you could start to explore the various options in boat pose. And then coming up, let's sit with the legs in front of us crossed. And again, we'll create another twist. So right hand comes to the outside of the left knee, left hand behind us. This is such gorgeousness for our spine. As we inhale, we come back to the center. And let's come round the other side. Lovely. As you inhale, coming back to the center, we're going to come onto all fours. So our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath the hips for a little cat-cow here. So as we inhale, belly comes down, chest lifts, chin lifts. Exhaling, rounding your back, chin in towards your chest. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, rounding your back. Now, really important that we move with our eyes closed here. It really allows us to feel what's happening. And that's the most important part. Rounding your back, chin towards your chest. And then coming to a nice flat back, a little movement side to side. So, finding that free form movement, circles, moving your shoulders, head, neck, finding that sense of freedom. Some of you might like to stay exactly where you are in your hands and your knees. This might be just perfect. You can continue. Things change gradually through the body, which is just so lovely. Or you might like to take that movement with you into downward facing dog. So just make sure you have your fingers nice and wide, and that middle finger is pointing straight up towards the top of your mat. And then when you tuck your toes, a little movement side to side, it means that there's bending of knees going on, moving the hips, getting into the side body, feeling that length from the shoulder down to the hip. But you can still, as I say, stay here on your hands and knees is perfect. Or even another option is to be seated and find movement through cat-cow in a seated position. So there's always lots of options. It doesn't matter, as long as we're moving our spine, we're checking in, we're being kind and compassionate and loving. That's really the first principle of our practice. Are we being loving? As we inhale now, wherever we are, we're going to come into a lunge. So let's step the right foot forward if you're in downward facing dog. We're going to take the left knee down, hands come onto our right knee, and then inhaling a little lift, exhaling, sitting nice and deep. Inhaling a little lift, exhaling. We want to explore how that feels. Nice lengthening for the front of the left hip flexor. Inhaling a little lift, exhaling, sitting nice and deep. Nice. Let's take our hands to the earth, tuck the toes at the back, and then come round to the side. So we're coming onto our mat sideways to the left, and then bending your left knee, straightening your right leg, and we want to keep the heels on the floor and just make sure the toes are pointing forward. So it's quite kind of juicy for the inside of that right leg. Inhaling, don't get stuck, a little buoyancy, a little bounce, and then bending your right knee, straightening your left leg, hands underneath your shoulders. Lovely. Coming round over your right foot. We're going to step the right foot back, come into plank pose. Again, fingers are nice and wide, strong through the arms, a little pull in towards the belly, pressing out through the heels, knees come down, hips come back towards the heels, and we keep the hands where they are, they don't come any closer. Forehead touches down, we have our toes tucked. This is called Tidal Pull, so you should feel a lovely pull through the spine. And maybe a little movement of your chin from side to side. And then as we inhale, we're going to round our backs as if we're trying to touch the ceiling with our back. And then like a hinge, we keep moving forward. The arms stay nice and straight, hips come down, chest lifts, chin lifts. And then if you're coming into downward facing dog or onto all fours, we want to just find that little bit of movement again, bending one knee, maybe bending both knees this time. Hips going the other way. Lovely. As we inhale, let's step the left foot forward between the hands. Take the right knee down onto the earth. Hands come up onto the left knee. And again, we don't want to be sinking forward. We want to really be lifting up, shining the heart, not kind of collapsing forward. There's an extra length through the front of the body, that lovely arc in the spine. Inhaling, we come up. Exhaling, sitting nice and deep. We're exploring how that feels. Inhaling, we come up. Exhaling, we sit. Inhaling, we come back up. Exhaling, sitting nice and deep. Taking our hands to the earth, tucking your toes, coming round to the right, sideways on your mat, bending your right knee, straightening your left leg, hands underneath your shoulders. You might find you're getting a little lower, or you might find you don't need to be so much weight in your hands this time. We're really pulling the energy into the center of the body. And then bending your left knee, straightening your right leg, and again, being buoyant, being inquisitive, being curious. And then coming round over your left foot and stepping the left foot back, plank pose. Knees come down, hips come back towards the heels. We tuck the toes, create that length. Forehead touches down, a little movement of your chin. And then as we inhale, we round our back, slowly making our way forward. Hips come down, chest lifts, chin lifts. Exhaling, pressing back. Downward facing dog. Lovely. Let's walk our feet forward now. Slowly walking the feet up the mat. Taking your feet behind your hands, hanging down over your legs. And then a little movement again. So we're hanging down, maybe holding onto your forearms, letting your head be nice and heavy. Lovely. Feeling those feet planted into the earth. And then as we inhale, we're going to release our hands to the earth. Nice. And then slowly we're going to roll up one vertebra at a time. So the arms are nice and heavy. Head is heavy. No rush. And we slowly make our way up to stand. Rolling our shoulders back and down a few times. Moving your head a little side to side. Maybe making circles. And then we're going to make sure we're at the very top of our mat. I'm actually going to come over this. Big toes touching, spreading your toes nice and wide. Coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Closing your eyes as you check in with your breath, check in with how the strength in your legs feels. Nice, this lovely meditative moment of being in mountain pose, connecting us to the planet, to the energy that we have within us. Majestic. As we're ready now to move through our sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. It's a sacred movement, it's not a mechanical movement, it's sacred. Honoring our environment, honoring our connection to Mother Earth, honoring the connection we have to our breath and to one another. As we inhale, we draw the arms up, reaching up towards the sky. Exhaling, folding over, hands to the earth, chin to the chest. Inhaling, stepping the right foot back, knee comes down, left hand to your knee, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Exhaling, taking your hands to the earth, tucking your toes, left foot back, plank pose. Knees come down, hips come back towards the heels, tidal pull. And then rounding into your back, slowly making your way forward, hips come down, chest lifts, chin lifts. Tucking your toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right foot forward between the hands. We're going to plant the left heel down and come up into warrior two. Looking down the right arm, middle finger. Left hand comes down the back, right arm reaches up and over. And then taking your elbow to your thigh, left arm up and over by your ear. Inhaling, we come back up, warrior two. Taking your hands to the earth. Stepping that left foot forward, folding over your legs. Inhaling, rising, coming all the way up. Exhaling, folding. Hands to the earth, chin to the chest. Inhaling, left foot back. Knee comes down. Right hand to your knee. Left arm reaches up. Exhaling, taking your hands to the earth. Tucking your toes, right foot back. Plank pose. Knees come down. Hips come back towards the heels. Tidal pull. Rounding into your back, slowly making your way forward. Hips come down, chest lifts, chin lifts. Exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog. Hips up nice and high. Little pull in towards the belly. As we inhale, we step the left foot forward between the hands. Right heel comes down. Inhaling, warrior two. Right hand comes down the back. Left arm reaches up and over. Taking your elbow to your thigh, right arm up and over by your ear. Inhaling, we come back, warrior two. Taking your hands to the earth, and we lift that right heel. Step the right foot forward, folding over your legs, chin in towards your chest. Inhaling, rising, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands come down through the center of the body, honoring that end of the first round. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, right foot back. Knee comes down. Both arms reach up towards the sky now. Anjaneyasana. Taking your hands to the earth. Tucking your toes, left foot back. Plank pose. Let's come into a side plank so feet can come nice and wide. Or you could bring your knee down. You could bring your forearm down, lifting the left arm up. Coming back into the center, coming onto your left side. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Coming back to the center. Now your choice for coming to the earth. It might be knees, chest, chin. It might be chaturanga. It might be tidal pull. But we want to slowly make our way down, come onto our belly, and let's come into cobra pose. So lifting your hands, lifting your chest, keeping the tops of the feet glued to the earth. Nice, hands come down, tucking your toes, pressing back, downward facing dog, hips up nice and high. As we inhale, we step the right foot forward between the hands. Left heel comes down, rising up, warrior two. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up and over. This time we're going to come into triangle pose, so straightening the right leg. Right arm comes down, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Inhaling, we come back up, warrior two. We're going to come into our extended side pose again. So elbow comes down, right hand comes to the floor. If you really press the shoulder against the knee, there needs to be two-way kind of exchange of energy there. Nice. Inhaling, making your way back up, warrior two. Taking your hands to the earth, lifting that left heel, stepping the left foot forward, folding over your legs. Inhaling, rising, coming all the way up. Exhaling, folding over, hands to the earth, chin to the chest. Inhaling, left foot back, knee comes down, rising up. Anjaneyasana. Taking your hands to the earth, tucking your toes, right foot back, plank pose. Now remember your choice, how you lower to the earth. You can do tidal pull, knees, chest, chin, straight body down. Coming onto your belly, coming into Shalabhasana now. So we're lifting the arms, lifting the legs, trying to touch that wall behind us. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And release. Hands come underneath your shoulders, tucking your toes, pressing back, downward facing dog, hips up nice and high. As we inhale, we're going to step the left foot forward between the hands. Right heel comes down, warrior two. Nice, right hand comes down that back leg, left arm reaches up and over. And we're going to come into our triangle pose. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up. Try not to Lean forward. We want to really keep that right shoulder up and open and back. And then as we inhale, let's come up. Bend the left knee. Extended side angle pose. So maybe the elbow on the thigh, maybe the hand on the floor. Right arm reaches up and over. And again, try to keep it nice and open. Inhaling, we come back up. Warrior two. Taking your hands to the earth, lifting that back heel, stepping the right foot forward, folding over your legs, chin in towards your chest. Inhaling, rising, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands come down through the center of the body. Lovely. Inhaling, we're going to lift the arms, bend the knees, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. But with a little swing, we're going to take the right elbow to the outside of the knee and lift the left arm up towards the sky. Inhaling, we come up. Exhaling, coming to the other side. Inhaling, we come back into the center, and we're going to get nice and low, low, low. Hands to the earth, chin to the chest, folding over your legs. Inhaling, right foot back. Knee comes down, rising up, lifting the arms, taking your hands behind you, interlinking your fingers, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then release, taking your hands to the earth, tucking your toes, left foot back, plank pose. Ready for side plank again. We're going to come on to the right side. Maybe your left foot can be stacked on top of the right. Maybe you take hold of your big toe and straighten the leg up nice and high. As we inhale, we come back to the center. Coming on to the other side. So right foot may be stacked on top of the left. Of course, you can always have your foot in front of you for extra stability. You just make this right for you. You might need to be on your forearm. Very important that you own your practice and make it right for you. Coming back to the center. Lovely. And then lowering to the earth. If you're doing knees, chest, chin, you need to create a little arch in the spine. And then let the elbows come in towards the body. Chest comes down, chin comes down. Nice. And we come on to our belly. We're going to take our fingertips out to the side. Wing the elbows out. And then we're going to start a little movement here. So you might need to stay nice and low. But we want to move the shoulders. You might find there's that lovely spontaneous lift, moving your head, your neck, noticing how it feels in your breath, around the heart, the back of the heart, the front of the heart. And then really we finish in the middle, up high, and then release down, nice and slowly. Taking our hands underneath our shoulders, tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. And let's take the knees back down onto the earth. Walk our hands in, and we're going to keep our toes tucked. Coming into Camel Pose, where we take our hands onto the lower back and encourage the front of the hips to move forward. And that squeezing of the shoulder blades behind, looking up towards the sky. Lovely. And release. Hands come down, coming into downward facing dog, hips up nice and high. Lovely. As we inhale, let's step the right foot forward between the hands. Left heel comes down. Inhaling, warrior two. Left hand comes down the back, right arm reaches up and over. Lovely. And either your elbow to your thigh or the hands to the floor. Left arm reaches up and over. Some of you might be able to, what we call take the bind, where you take that right arm underneath, left hand behind you, interlinking your fingers. And really checking in with the legs, how everything feels, how is your breath. Our breath is our guide. If suddenly our breath is labored, we need to just back out a little of that next krama, that next stage. Releasing nice and slowly. We're going to make our way back up, warrior two. And we're going to straighten that right leg, tuck those right toes in, hands onto our hips, a little lift. And then as you exhale, forward fold, coming over the legs, hands onto your ankles as you fold over, strong through the feet. 3 breaths here, inhaling. And as you exhale, we kind of dive in to that edginess, into that strength that we're finding in our legs, that groundedness through the feet. Inhaling a little lift. Exhaling. Where is the ease? Inhaling a little lift. And then exhaling. Nice. Hands come underneath your shoulders now. Nice flat back. We come back around that right foot. We're going to come up into a high lunge. So the left heel is lifted. We feel that buoyancy, we feel that strength. We're not stuck anywhere. We're going to lift the arms. Bring those hands down in front of the heart. Find a twist to the right. And let's take the elbow to the outside of the right knee. And really pressing the elbow against the knee, finding that action and the strength in the left leg. And then you're going to look over your right elbow. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Some of you might be able to try the bind the other way around now. Maybe the left hand comes towards the earth, right arm reaches up towards the sky. And then slowly releasing, unraveling. Nice. Let's take that left knee down to the earth. Coming into Ardha Hanuman. 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 moves. Not getting stuck. Maybe sliding the right foot forward. Lovely. And then as we inhale, we're ready to fly now. We're going to come into half moon pose from here. So if you have a block, it's quite nice to have a block underneath the hand. Don't have to, but if you have one handy, we're going to come up onto the right leg. Left leg lifts up and back. Right hand on the floor or a block or a book underneath your right hand. And then left arm reaches up towards the sky. Strong through both legs. Half moon pose, full consciousness required here. We have to be present. And then as we release, nice and slowly, left hand comes down. Left foot lands beside the right, folding over your legs, chin in towards your chest. As we inhale, we're going to come up. And we'll come into our swinging chair pose again, so bending the knees. Nice. And the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Inhaling, we come back. Exhaling the other side. So left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Right arm reaches. And then inhaling, we come back. to the center, and then we get nice and low. Belly comes onto the thighs maybe, and then lifting your hips, folding over your legs, chin in towards your chest. Inhaling, stepping the left foot back. Knee comes down, rising up, Anjaneyasana. And then taking your arms behind you, interlinking your fingers, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lovely. Releasing, taking your hands to the earth, tucking your toes, right foot back. Plank pose. Now again, your choice to come to the earth. Knees, chest, chin, straight body, tidal pull, whatever's right for you. Nice. And then we're going to come into, again, your choice actually. You could do Cobra pose again. You could do Shalabhasana. You could make this lovely Sahaja Bhujangasana movement. Or if it's in you, maybe taking hold of the feet, coming into the full Dhanurasana, bow pose. Or of course, if you shouldn't be on your belly for any reason, coming into camel pose. So, your choice. It's a lovely way of owning, being your own teacher, owning your practice, being engaged, making the right decisions for you. Lovely. Releasing, nice and slowly making your way out of that shape. Hands underneath your shoulders. And we make our way back up into downward facing dog. Lovely. Little movement. Nice. Now, as we did at the other side, if you've already done camel pose, we're going to be doing it again. So bringing your knees down, having your toes tucked, hands come onto the lower back, and that really want to feel that sense of opening through the front of the body, even if it doesn't feel like you're going very far. Focus on how it feels at the front of the body, collarbones, really grounded through the feet, the soles of the feet, the toes tucked under. And then as you inhale, making your way back up. You might need child's pose after that. You might need to take your time. Hands come down, and then coming into downward facing dog. Lovely. As you inhale now, let's step the left foot forward between the hands. Right heel comes down. Inhaling, rising up. Warrior two. Finding that buoyancy again, not getting stuck anywhere. Making sure those legs are nice and wide apart so the knee isn't going over the ankle at the front. And then right hand comes down the back, left arm reaches up and over. Coming into our extended side angle pose. So maybe the elbow on the thigh, maybe your hand on the floor, maybe the right arm up and over by your ear, or perhaps if your hand is on the floor, your left arm comes underneath, right arm behind you, drawing the right shoulder back, believing in that strength that you have. Lovely. And then releasing nice and slowly wherever it was you came to. Bringing that right arm back up. Warrior two. And then we're going to turn to the left. Lift that right heel. That's it. Lifting the arms. Nice high lunge. And then take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Finding the twist. Looking over your left elbow. So the strength is really in that right leg. Try not to grip with your toes. Nice. And again, some of you might be able to take that left arm up and back behind, or maybe you take the hand to the floor, lift the left arm up. Maybe you stay exactly as you are. Maybe you take that bind. Depends on all sorts of things. Finding the buoyancy, finding the lift, finding that inner strength. Lovely. Releasing your hands to the earth. Let's take the right knee down. Hips come back towards the heels, but no further back than that right knee. So the thing to adjust is if you come further past that knee, to push that right knee back a bit and slide the left forward a bit. So just playing with this half splits, Ardha Hanuman, this leap of faith, this leap of love. Loving our hamstrings, loving our hamstrings. Not going into battle. Remember, it's very important. I can tell you from personal experience, hamstrings usually win that one, so don't overdo. And then as you inhale, we'll slowly make our way out of that shape. Now, if you used your block for half moon pose, just have to grab it again. It just brings the floor up to us, which is good. As we inhale, we're going to step forward onto the left leg, lift the right leg, hands on the floor or your block, and then we start to open and explore. So that right hip is stacking on top of the left hip. Right leg is straight. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. That's it. Strong left leg, lovely and open. We want to feel like we're creating openness here. Full consciousness required. We have to be present. And then as we release, nice and slowly, take the hand down. And then the right foot lands beside the left. Folding over your legs, chin in towards the chest. And then rather than coming up, we're going to come into a low malasana. So we're going to take our feet nice and wide. And then sit the hips down. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Hands in front of the heart. Sitting nice and tall. Noticing how that feels for your hips, for your spine, for your heart. Lovely, and then releasing the arms out in front, we're going to let the hips come down, come onto our back. Lovely. Take the legs straight out along the mat. It's like a little moment of Savasana before we move again. We want to just be aware of the energy, be aware of our temperature, be aware of our breath. Lovely. So bending your knees, taking the soles of the feet onto the earth. Bringing your heels close enough that you can touch the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And as you inhale, start to lift the hips. You might like to scooch your shoulders underneath you, pressing down through the feet. And even encouraging a little rolling in of the thighs towards one another here. Interlinking your fingers underneath you. Pressing down through the feet. Knowing that we've got time, we've got a few breaths. We can explore, we can see what happens. Lovely, and then slowly taking your time and doing your fingers rolling down. Lovely. So if anybody has upward facing bow, you're more than welcome to find time to add that in now, where you would take your hands beside your ears, trying to keep those elbows in nice and tight. And you would inhale onto the crown of your head and then exhale, straightening the arms. So make sure it's a 2-part move. Otherwise, you're welcome to come into bridge pose again. You might find you can lift your heels off the floor a little, create an extra bit of space. Lovely. And then releasing. So if you're coming down from that lovely high upward facing bow, tuck your chin in and lower down slowly. Let's bring the right knee in actually bring both knees in towards the chest. Give your knees a nice big hug. A little rock from side to side. And then from there we're going to take our hands behind our knees and we're going to rock up to sit with our legs out in front of us. Take the right knee in towards the chest, take the knee out to the side. And we'll create a twist here, left hand behind us, right hand to the outside of that straight leg, sitting nice and tall. Closing your eyes, chin parallel with the earth. So feeling where's the effort, where's the ease. And then as we inhale, we're going to turn back round over that left leg and fold over the left leg. Just taking your time. Don't worry about whether you can hold or touch your foot. You could always have your hands right beside your leg. It's like an act of absolute bliss and love, not struggling to take hold of the foot. But you know, if you're able to and you don't lose your neck. Sometimes we try things, but you know, you have to recognize and notice, what do we lose in the over-efforting sometimes? Or are we creating extra tension somewhere else in the body by worrying about whether we can touch our foot? Just having that freedom to not have to overdo. The body loves this movement, so we don't need to bring tension into it. This is really for the lower spine, the hips. As we inhale, nice and slowly, we're going to make our way back up. Bring that right knee in, straightening the right leg. Left knee comes in and out to the side, creating your twist, taking your right hand round the back, left hand to the outside of that straight leg. And again, closing your eyes, just noticing the various parts of the spine, their type of movement. Every single vertebra has its own variance of movement, which makes the whole spine just this absolutely amazing piece of kind of architecture in our body. Lovely. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, and we're going to fold over the right leg. But again, don't lose your neck. Hands maybe beside you. You don't have to force, you don't have to pull. There's enough going on with gravity. Nice. And then as we inhale, nice and slowly, we make our way back up. Draw the left knee in, straightening that left leg. Lifting your arms, reaching up. Exhaling, folding over your legs. Paschimottanasana, this pose of acceptance, understanding, patience for yourself. We have an opportunity to really thank our body for giving us somewhere so incredible to experience life through. So we don't need to overdo anything. It's an opportunity to be grateful for the body that we have. And then as we inhale, nice and slowly, we make our way back up. Hands come behind us, fingers pointing in towards the body. And then either keeping your legs, well, actually staying here is fine, absolutely perfect if that's enough for you, for your shoulders. Otherwise you could lift your hips maybe, or you could bend your knees, lift your hips up that way. Whichever is right for you. Again, 3 options. Very important that you choose the right option for you that's going to be nourishing in the long run. And then slowly lower your hips. Nice. Taking your legs out straight along the mat. Now some of you might be ready to come into the series of shoulder stand. So I would advise, if you are doing that, come into shoulder stand, halasana, plow pose, and then again a back bend afterwards, maybe bridge and a twist, and then shavasana. Otherwise, coming onto your back for shavasana, where you take your arms out to the side. Maybe place a blanket over the top of you. Make sure your legs are relaxed. Nice. Maybe turning your head a little side to side. Allowing the body to really rest now on the earth. You stay as you are. Closing your eyes. As we allow our bodies to really receive our practice. Let the breath travel back down and around everywhere, settling back down, drawing nourishment, nutrients to every cell. And we thank our bodies for being so healthy. We thank our bodies for the healing. We thank our bodies for being our friend. We thank our bodies for teaching us. We thank our bodies for being our guide. As you breathe in now all the way down into your toes, allowing your toes, your feet your ankles and your legs to relax completely, softening, letting go. The earth is holding you, supporting you. Inhaling into your hips. As you exhale, allow your hips to relax completely, softening. Inhaling into your spine. And as you exhale, allow your spine to relax completely, softening, letting go. Inhaling down into your fingertips. And as you exhale, allow your fingers, your hands, your wrists, and your arms to relax completely. As you breathe into your shoulders, allowing your shoulders to relax, softening, melting into the earth. Inhaling into your throat, your neck, and your jaw. As you exhale, allow your throat, your neck, and your jaw to relax completely, softening. Inhaling into your face, the inside of your face, your eyes. Allowing your eyes to sink to the back of your head. Everything softening. Inhaling into your forehead, the crown of your head. And as you exhale, allow this lovely wave of relaxation to pour back down through your body, filling you with peace, contentment, as you bathe in the bliss of your practice, of this moment. Lovely. So beginning to take a nice deep breath into your body. As you slowly start to move your fingers and your toes. A little movement into your wrists and your ankles. And then when you're ready, drawing your legs together, lifting your arms up over your head, giving yourself a nice stretch, pressing out through the palms, out through the heels. And then drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving your knees a nice big hug. A little rock from side to side. And rolling over onto your right side, curled into a ball. And pressing into the earth with your left hand to make your way up to sit in a nice comfortable cross-leg position. Resting your hands on your knees, palms facing up. Closing your eyes. And really taking this very precious moment to check in. This is the moment that we have practiced for. There is no other moment. How do we feel? How does the space feel? Is there a little bit more space in the physical body? Is there a little bit more space in our energetic body? Is there a little bit more space in our breath? Between the thoughts? Around our heart? Lovely. We'll close our practice with the sharing of 3 Oms. We allow that sound to vibrate through us, coming from our heart, through the throat, to the tips of our lips. Allowing it to kind of signify that everything has a beginning, everything has a middle, and everything has an end. That's the circle of life. It's a circle of everything, even this breath. So we'll take a nice deep breath in. Draw our hands now in front of our hearts as we bow in gratitude, in thanks to our bodies, to our breath, to our minds and our hearts for serving us well, doing such an amazing job. Never ever really taking it for granted, really honoring this body that we have that does through life. And many, many, many thanks for coming and joining me today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace to each and every one of you and beyond, to your loved ones and beyond into the universe. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.